the new pedagogies of deeper learning, also known as NPDL. It was an adventure, a journey that actually we started last academic school year. So this is my second year at Golden Plains Unified School District. I am the Academic Services Director. So I work for Mr. Martín Macias, who you probably see quite often as he walks the classrooms. He is the superintendent. And our journey through this 2 years was, how do we make this district a model district? So some of the collaborations that we've been able to be part of, one of them that happens to be the class you're sitting in now. So the class that you're sitting in now, also, how many of you are taking art with Miss Beatriz? A couple people, okay? The art class. So there was a couple classes that weren't being offered at Tranquility High School that actually we wanted to be able to bring back. So what that is, we also wanted to improve the education for what it looked like at the K-8 feeder schools. So what occurred is, as we came into this district 2 years ago, is we need to be able to bring these courses to the high school and expand on that. And we also need to work on our K-8s so that we could actually feed into those schools. So the new pedagogies of deeper learning came about through an invite from this gentleman by the name of Dr. Kenji Hakuda. Dr. Kenji Hakuda works for Stanford University. He's a big-time professor there with language and linguistics, and he's involved with some huge organizations that are actually working worldwide. So Golden Plains is one of the few districts in California and actually the nation that's actually privileged to be part of the new pedagogies of deeper learning. When we say pedagogy, teachers go to school to learn how to teach to students. And so whenever you hear pedagogy, for those that may get into the teaching field, it's how do we teach students? How do we teach students? So every teacher has a different pedagogy, but based off that, we do learn basically strategies, and we learn our content to be able to teach students. Now, you probably have some of your favorite teachers who you love going to their class. That means their pedagogy also matches their content. Does that make sense? And then you probably have some other teachers that maybe you're not as engaged, and their pedagogy is trying to match their content as well, as they try to improve their craft. So when we say pedagogy, we mean how do we teach students? So the new pedagogies of deeper learning actually took part in countries that start off in Canada, some European countries, South America, and Australia. And Dr. Michael Fullen, who's kind of known throughout the world about bringing engaging education that starts in the primary grades, that's K to 3rd, intermediate, 4 through 6, middle school, and high school. And so think about this, is he talks about how do you take your normal project, like your, for example, 4th grade mission project. How do you take that and really expand on it to even be more engaging? So what the new pedagogies of deeper learning say, how do we take the technology, how do we take projects, project-based learning, and how do we bring it to life to make it engaging so kids even at the K-8s are doing science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and then bringing in the arts. So when this presented itself says, how do we then improve the programs for students at the high school, is how do we also improve them for the K-8s? So wouldn't it be phenomenal that if this type of class were available for the middle school students at the different sites, so that you can really get a foundation there, so that when you get to high school, you even build upon that to even go further. So the ideas of new pedagogies is to take projects and go beyond. Here's an example. The project centered about studying the drought. So the technology teacher took the students out there just to go interview the community. It got so bad that they didn't have any water whatsoever. Porterville, thank you. Porterville. It got so bad in Porterville that they actually had to bring water to the town. Water just for simple things, bathing, cooking, and the students at this school that were only less than 10 miles away didn't know that that close of a town did not even have water for the community. So really what the technology person entailed, this is how do we take this further so people are aware, and maybe we can make a difference in this town to actually be able to, at that time, they did not have water. They were actually running out. So what the technology person partnered up with the art teacher and partnered up with the English teacher. And so new pedagogy of deeper learning doesn't just involve this class, but it would entail Mr. Brown working maybe with the art teacher, maybe working with Mr. Castellanos, and actually building the project that way. And so what ended up happening is they actually went out there, interviewed the people, and in the end, they made a very nice promotional video that actually ended up on the news. But they also ended up with painting actually a mural. A mural is kind of like this wall. And I believe it was that wall. It ended up being, I believe, 20 yards long. And the mural was actually stories that the art students had painted that were based on what was recorded. And then they brought in the English teacher and also the science teacher to understand what was happening with the drought. So that project that could have just taken place in one class expanded across 4 teachers. And what it ended up doing is, because those students got involved, then they were able to bring water to the city. How much water? Well, they ended up bringing a couple trailers that actually were just for bathing, because they didn't have anywhere where the kids and the grown-ups and people can go take even a simple shower. So they brought those in. They brought portable showers inside trailers that were set up almost like motorhomes. They brought in big tanks of water. When we talk about the big tanks, they're all like inside this room. You could fit 2 tanks, and each house would get one of those that they actually would put in their front yard, and that's how they would get their water for an entire year, because they had run out of water. So with that new pedagogies of deeper learning, the students realized a couple of things. Is there things happening in our towns, or maybe not so far away, that we can make a huge difference. What's different about the new pedagogies of deeper learning, the way they communicate their work, is through the 6 C's. So they have a structure under the 6 C's that makes the projects just expand. So the first C they talk about is communication.
Communication. Communication is the important or exchanging of information or news. A letter or message containing information or news. The successful conveying or sharing of ideas and feelings. And social contact.
Communication between you guys, but also communication with other students, and maybe communication with other teachers. Collaboration. So
Collaboration, the action of working with someone to produce or create something.
Getting a chance to collaborate on a project. Creativity.
Creativity. Creativity is the use of imagination or original ideas, especially in the production of an artistic work.
Creativity is big. So they talk about, okay, giving the creativity to the students and let them just take off with it. So much so that it catches the attention of the community and hopefully catches the attention of the media. Critical thinking.
Critical thinking, the objective analysis and evaluation of an issue in order to form a judgment.
Definitely some critical thinking going on into, okay, what's our project going to do that's going to make a difference? The last 2, character.
Character, the mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual.
And citizenship.
A good citizen is someone who respects others and their property, is helpful and considerate, willing to put others first, listens to the views of others and thinks about what they have to say, helps people who are not in a position to help themselves, works hard, is well-mannered and pleasant, and is always willing to learn.
Because without those 2 last ones, the character and citizenship, is there has to be something internal for you to say, this project really matters. Your job is to kind of paint that awareness, because we want to be able to change Golden Plains. Our graduation rate went from 83% to 92%. 83% to 92% in 1 year. We're working collaboratively with Mr. Reed and also Mr. Ramirez at Rio del Rey to make sure that more kids graduate each year. We also reduced the amount of chronic absenteeism. That means students being absent over and over and over again. We had a 20% chronic absenteeism. It dropped from 20% to 11%. Our juniors last year who took the state assessment for SBAC, phenomenal for English language arts. Phenomenal. In math, we made improvements, outshined in English language arts. What does that mean? That means the kids who did well in their English language arts, they won't have to take a remedial class when they get to college or university. So the SBAC, pretty much for those people, whether college, university, or vocational school, is kind of your way to say, I don't need to take that remedial class, I go straight into English comp, math, because we really want to change education in Golden Plains. And with your videos, we see that happening. If you walk into the art room, you see it happening. If you go down to Mr. Moss's class and you see that shop class transformed, it's starting to happen. What you may not know is that the K-8s, things are also happening. They want to do robotics. They want to do video that now you guys are exploring here. They want to make school more fun, more engaging. The new pedagogies of deeper learning is not doing your traditional things of English, math, the way it's usually done. But it's really taking that English and math and taking it to the next level. And hopefully that your teachers are also collaborating. That your math teacher may be collaborating with your science teacher on some projects. Some schools that are really doing this end up having their freshman, sophomore, junior. By the time you're a senior, they have their portfolio, but their portfolio looks like a resume. So that when they go to a college, university, or vocational school, or they go to an employer, they could just present their portfolio, and it really does look like a resume because of everything they've done over the course of 4 years. Miss Cristina Lopez, has been part of the new pedagogies of deeper learning. She's trying to take her Spanish class to a different level. So her idea was, as they were studying cultures and where piñatas came from, taught that piñatas actually didn't originate in Mexico, but they actually originated in China. And then what she was able to do with that is she actually ended up talking to the art teacher here, and actually her piñatas, instead of just doing them with the class, she actually went across the street to Mr. Kinnanen's class or school and actually worked with the second grade class, and actually the second graders worked with these high school students who were learning about piñatas.
Ya le diste 2, ya le diste 3 y su tiempo se acabó.
It's a mouse? I'm a hard-headed boy. You like food? Can you make a hook? If I put my candy in? Is that a cutter? Like boots or what? That's for my... You put corn on it. Yeah. Oh my god, come on. I like corn, yeah. I don't like it. Ivan! The corn! That's something.
Show her the piñata. Yeah, show her later.
What I thought about working with the second grader with the piñata is that she really listens and understands the new ideas of what to do in life, and there's some parts alone and cut things. I made her do most of everything so she could learn how to glue things and how to do everything by herself.
Okay. What about you, Melissa?
I enjoyed it.
You did? Why?
Because it was fun.
It was fun? Okay.
So Felix, can you tell me, what did you think of this project?
It was fun because I got to do stuff like, I got to glue the cones and the tissue paper, and then I got to glue the streamers next to the cones.
Very good. And what did you think about working with the high school mentors?
Great.
What was great about it? Did they help you? Were they nice? Did they help kind of guide you to do the project?
Yeah, they helped me, they guided me to help me learn to do piñata.
They did.
Because like you get to teach them so much, and then they look up to you like, oh my god, like this kid is like awesome, he's cool for teaching me all these things about the piñata. It's just fun working with like a little kid. See him as like a little brother.
Okay.
So in the end, not only did the Spanish students benefit, but also the second graders. That's one example. Another example also in Tranquility Elementary is Mrs. Kathy Onan. Mrs. Kathy Onan was very worried about the drought at the time when she started this project back in the fall.
Hi, Tranquility High School. My name is Adrina Sandoval. Today we have Mrs. Kathy Onan with us today.
Hello.
How are you doing, Mrs. Kathy?
I'm really well. How are you today?
I'm good too. It's nice to know you're doing good. So could you explain us a little bit about your NPDL project?
Sure. NPDL is New Pedagogies for Deeper Learning. The district is adopting this worldwide program to try to encourage us here in our district to do more project-based learning. So it's not a curriculum, it's actually a system to help us as teachers do better projects, because studies show that if you're doing project-based learning, the kids understand it more. Wanted to do like a water quality drought thing, but then it rained a lot and it kind of killed that with the third grade. So we did go there as a field trip, and my kids got to see their creatures. We did, as a community person, because when you do NPDL, they want you to go out there and find community partners. We used them as a community partner. My kids emailed them after the project, asked more questions about the creature. We got emails directly back from the ranger out there at the San Luis National Wildlife Refuge. And my kids added that to their posters. But ultimately what I found out, we did projects that day, science projects. They made a wetland. But what came of that is I found out my kids were interested in pollution. My kids have been thinking about pollution, and we've been talking about pollution because pollution came up in the beginning of that. So in my attitude, part of New Pedagogies of Deeper Learning is following your kids' interests. So over the last few weeks, we've been doing a water pollution project because my kids have already talked about land pollution and air pollution. So we went into water pollution. So over the last couple days or last few weeks, we did learn the water cycle, so the kids knew what the water cycle was. We talked about aquifers, which is on our poster, and groundwater quality, how things get into the river. We had to talk about what chemicals were, pesticides, fertilizer, sewage, and all those kinds of things. My kids got to make dirty water. They polluted it through this whole activity that we did a few days ago. And then the next day they got to build filters to try to actually clean their water. And in the process of that, we're in third grade, they've done posters and different things like that. We are going to have them email the Westlands Water District to find out about the quality of water here in our own community. One of the things my kids is interested in is we're going to be making t-shirts. They want to put "Don't Trash Tranquility" t-shirts, and we're going to go pick up trash in the community. So that brings in the citizenship part of it. So I ask my kids all the time, can you connect this to the 6 C's, to recognize when they're being creative, when they're using communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and character. And then again, the citizenship part is we're trying to bring it back to our own community by finding out about our water and picking up trash in our community. So what I can tell you this about project-based learning is that every single time you do a project, you have complete engagement for your kids. Your kids get animated, they care, they buy in, and they really do deeper learning. I can hear them using the vocabulary, I can hear them talking about these ideas. And so my point here is to encourage all the other teachers in the district to take it on just a little bit at a time. You don't have to make it last forever. You can start out just with one idea, something that you want to do. Go online, find a project-based activities that go with it, and just give it a try. And you're going to be inspired because your kids are so inspired. And you're going to see so much joy in learning, and you're going to see much deeper thinking, and it's fantastic. And New Pedagogies of Deeper Learning helps you out because it's not curriculum. It's a system that I can go in, I can look at their papers and read the progressions and see how I'm doing as a teacher, how my kids are doing on the progression, and it's been really, really great, and it's been really, really awesome, and I just encourage everybody to give it a try.
Did you enjoy doing the most? Which of the 60s did you enjoy doing?
Critical thinking.
Critical thinking? Why do you think critical thinking is important?
Because you think.
Which of the 60s did you enjoy doing? Critical thinking? And why do you think that critical thinking is important?
Just think a lot. Exactly like coffee.
So, which of the 60s did you enjoy doing the most?
Collaboration.
Collaboration? And why do you think that working together is important? Do you like working with the partner? Yeah. Why do you like working with your partner?
We work better together.
Which of the 60s did you enjoy doing the most?
Creativity.
Creativity? How was your experience building your water filter? Did you have fun doing it? Mm-hmm. Yeah? And what did you do?
We put filters in there and toilet paper.
And what was the purpose of you building this water filter?
The water could be clean.
Which of the 60s did you enjoy doing?
Creativity.
Creativity? Do you enjoy drawing posters? Is there a poster that you did?
Yeah.
What did you do it on?
Paper.
What was the paper about?
Which one's yours?
That one.
Well, thank you guys for answering my questions.
Here we have Miss Bongiorno. How do you feel about the 60s?
I really enjoy the 60s because it helps the kids kind of put different like collaboration, critical thinking, character, and others together, and they can build on them in class while doing their different projects.
Thank you. What are some examples of the 6Cs you've done with your students?
We've done all of the C's in our class this year, but the ones we focused on the most was probably collaboration, critical thinking. When they did their project, they all collaborated. Even though they were doing different projects, they collaborated together. They had to think critically because we dug deeper into civil rights. And then that just helped them build their character, good citizenship. They were creative. We've used them all.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What's your name?
Mika.
Mika, which of the 6 C's did you enjoy doing the most?
Collaborating.
Why?
I like working with others.
Did you have fun doing your NPDL project?
Yes. The research.
Why?
The research. Learning new things is like pretty fun to me. And, like I was already into it, but getting even deeper into it is more. It's like it's fun.
What was your project about?
Basically, overall, it was on civil rights, but I focused on the Birmingham bombings of the church.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting.
Okay. Go. So, what's your name?
Mariana.
Which of the 6 C's did you enjoy doing the most?
Critical thinking.
And why was that?
I got to look deeper into the research that we were doing by thinking harder, like with my friends, and we all got to work together.
And did you have fun doing your NPDL project?
Yes.
What was it about?
Mine, well, like everyone else, it was about civil rights, but I focused mine mostly on the Little Rock Nine, because I thought that was so cool that 9 black students got to be the first people, like they got to stand up for what they believed in and went to a school that they probably weren't even allowed to go to.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. There. What's your name?
Crystal.
Which of the 6 C's did you enjoy doing the most?
Communicating.
Why is that?
Because you get to communicate with others and like talk about you get to talk about stuff like thinking and all that.
Okay, thank you. Did you have fun doing your NPDL project?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because like we like to learn about new stuff. We got deeper into our project, and like we learned new stuff we didn't know about already.
Okay. What was your project about?
Civil rights and the movement, and the main thing I focused on was the 16th Street church bombing, because it was about these little kids who they were at the church, and then the KKK bombed them because they didn't like their color and stuff.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Cecilia Lopez, and I'm here today with Mr. Castellanos. He's an English teacher for 11th and 12th graders, and today I came to ask him about one of the 6 C's, and in our case, critical thinking. So, Mr. Castellanos, what does critical thinking mean to you?
Critical thinking, it's pretty basic. It's more than just getting the answer. For example, you read a book, you read a story, and you get to the answer, right? But I feel that it's more than that. It's asking the why. Why did I get the specific answer, right? And you have to look at all angles. And you have to make those connections to life in general. Okay, so once again, it's more than just getting the answer, it's asking the why. Why did I get this answer? How can I back it up with evidence, right? And looking from all different angles.
Do you think critical thinking is just English related, or can it be, part of other type of subjects?
Yeah, critical thinking connects to all subjects. In all specific subjects, you can definitely make connections to life, right? To different areas, right? So yeah, it does connect to all subjects.